Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we are back for another brand new video. Now today's video we are here to turn our attention away from the hopeful European dream and get it back to what matters the most, and that is of course league football. That's right people, the games are coming thick and fast. This competition, this team needs previewed and this team needs previewed, and that's such a good place to be because I've missed diving in and speaking about multiple Rangers things per week. But before we do carry on with the rest of today's video, as always, just a friendly wee reminder, we're trying to reach 56k on the old channel, so if you could help our channel out, that'd be greatly appreciated. But with the YouTube pings and all out the way, let's get on with the video then, shall we? And as always, we will start off with the oppositional preview and have a look at Dundee United. Now, Dundee United actually come into this game sitting 11th in the table, which I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't hate. But all joking and that aside, the reason Dundee United find themselves sitting in that 11th spot in the old table is thanks to a comprehensive 2-0 loss on the opening day away to Aberdeen. But honestly, that scoreline doesn't do the game justice. Aberdeen absolutely manhandled and destroyed Dundee United in every single aspect. I mean, the only parts of the game and the only stats that Dundee United won was fouls given and yellow cards. Two things that I'm pretty sure they'll be leading by the time the full whistle goes the Mora. And you know something, it's quite interesting to have a look at this Dundee United side now coming into this season, because if you think of last season, they were just coming up for the championship. There was a lot of questions asked about the squad. Did they do enough of this? Did they do enough of that? And pretty much they answered all those questions within the first 6 months before they did start to kind of run out of puff and kind of just hemorrhage some points and some goals. But coming into this season, you look at their team, it's pretty much the exact same. They've kept the majority, if not 95% of their squad, while sprinkling the odd player here or there. But their biggest player, in my opinion, did go, and that was actually their manager, who gave them that fearless style that Dundee United caused so many problems with last season, especially again during those 6 months, because you knew what you were getting for a Micky Mellon Dundee United side. There was going to be high pressure, there was going to be aggression, they were going to get in your face, 1v1s over the park, and you would need to outrun them if you wanted to come away with all 3 points. And we were very good at that last season, especially at Ibrox, battering them. But at Tannadice it was very, very difficult and required that incredible free kick by Tavernier, which honestly doesn't get the respect it deserves even to this day. But we have to focus on Dundee United here. But Micky Mellon is now gone, and there has been a stark difference in the Dundee United side, despite it being 90% of the same players, and that is just how they go about their business, not only in pre-season but in that last game versus Aberdeen, where the high press, the pressing, the aggression to get on the ball, the 1v1s over the part, that's mostly gone, if I'm honest with you. They kind of sit back now, they hold their shape and they try to play the ball. They're still pinging the passes about, everything like that, but that high press and aggression is definitely the biggest thing you'll notice right away from being gone from this Dundee United side. But one of the things that has remained from last season that I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot of, or Dundee United will attempt to do a lot of tomorrow's game versus Rangers, is getting the ball out wide. That's still their go-to, that's still what they're best at, using the pace to get out wide and whip in the balls in, because we just talked about just a couple of minutes ago about how much they got battered by Aberdeen, but the one chance that Dundee United did create in the entire game came from their bread and butter, which was getting the ball from the back out to the wing position and then just getting the ball into the mixer. Now the finish was absolutely terrible, as the boy couldn't even hit it on target, never mind ask the goalkeeper a question. But it was a shocking finish, and that probably summarised their afternoon. But again, that shows you where they are dangerous, getting in beyond teams, in beyond fullbacks and putting in there. And the other thing you may have noticed that remains consistent from last season's Dundee United's test is something we've said a lot throughout today's video, and that is them playing out from the back. They still take a lot of risks back there, and they were punished a lot versus Aberdeen, if I'm honest with you. But now they've got the three at the back formation. They brought in Charlie Mulgrew as their main playmaking centre back. He gets a lot of the ball at his feet, and I imagine that will be one of the tactics Dundee United actually use in this game. A lot of passes in and around the back, trying to get Rangers to pile on the pressure, and then Charlie Mulgrew hitting a long ball in behind the fullbacks, trying to use their pace. I imagine that is what we'll see a lot of tomorrow. But you just never know with this Dundee United team. You never really know with any other team in the SPFL, if I'm honest with you, because last season Micky Mellon got a lot of credit from a lot of people for playing the same way no matter who he's up against. He would go high press, he would try things whether it was against the old firm or not, but you never ever know when a new manager comes in, and I think that's going to be the main question going in to this game. Will this Dundee United side play as fearlessly as they did versus Aberdeen, or Will they change it up now there's a new gaffer in charge, and they'll try just to sit back and contain and frustrate? We'll see tomorrow. But with all that being said, we can now move away from the old oppositional preview and get to what matters most, and that is of course the champions. Because I think going into another weekend, if we look back in our last week, the first week that we've had of the new season, I think it's fair to say it's been a bit of a weird journey, because we started the season off perfectly with a strong 3-0 win versus a very tough Livingston side, starting our title defence perfectly in my opinion. But then we obviously had a bit of a low at the weekend when we went ahead and lost our Champions League qualifier versus Malmo, and I think if it genuinely did end 2-0, which it did look like right up to pretty much Stephen Davis just put on his Superman cape, I think we would all be really doing and we'd all be really worried, and I would have that fear, you know, coming into this game versus Dundee United, that there may just be a bit of flatness in the Rangers side, given the way that we kind of just got winded with that Champions League loss. But with the way that that game actually unfolded, and the way that that game ended with us scoring that screamer, with us having the smiles on our faces, and Malmo punching the ground, shouting at each other, being fuming because they knew what that goal meant overall for the tie. I actually think it's going to go the opposite now. I think we're all going to have a bounce, and I think these players are all going to be ready to be unleashed versus Dundee United, because they know they need to get the level back to their best. What we saw on Tuesday wasn't us at our best. Gerrard's came out here and the gaffer has went ahead and challenged them to get back to it, and I think every single one of the players that was off their game will be looking at this game as the perfect opportunity to close that gap to where they played to where they should be. And when you're looking at this game, the more on you look into the opposition, they genuinely couldn't ask for a better dress rehearsal than Tuesday than it would be versus Dundee United tomorrow. Obviously, I'm not saying they're the same calibre of teams or anything like that, but the way they're going to go about their business, I mean, we saw for Malmo, they were trying to kick the living lumps out. They were kicking our players at every opportunity, and after going up 2-0, all they did was sit back and defended. So that is what we will be playing, and that's exactly what we'll be playing tomorrow. But speaking about the old Rangers team, let's transition into some Rangers team news then, shall we? Because we've got a little bit of good news, and unfortunately we've got a little bit of bad news. Now, right off the bat, let's speak about the obvious first. Glenn Kamara is back available, and so is Kamara, because they're only banned again for European competitions, and that will be absolutely massive, just having that belly in the middle of the park and having the threat at Kamara. And given the fact that both of them are suspended for Tuesday, imagine we will see them both. And there was some good news about Glenn Kamara. There's apparently a very good contract offer on the table, so hopefully we'll be hearing some good news about Saucy Glenn committing to this right here. But the good news doesn't stop there. We also got the fantastic news that the madman, the king, the Alfredo is back in business. He was training yesterday, he's going to be training today, and a decision will be made ahead of the game tomorrow. Now, obviously he's missed pre-season and everything like that, but he's been working hard on his fitness, etc. when he was quarantining. But you know for a fact Gerrard will not shy away. If he thinks Alfredo Morelos is ready, he will be put into the game tomorrow versus Dundee United. Now, I imagine it'll maybe be a wee 25-minute spell, in my opinion, just to try and get as much ring rust off the man for, again, potentially Tuesday. But it's Alfredo Morelos and it's Rangers. You just never know. He could start and he could have a hat-trick by half-time. He's just that much of a maverick. And as you can see right now, there's a lot of positivity, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of happy thoughts in the noggin about the potential team we could be putting out versus United. But unfortunately, we do need to speak about a couple of players that are officially ruled out. And I think we'll start off with the first one, and that's going to be the first player that Gerrard spoke about, and that is none other than Ryan Jack, who again was edging closer and closer, but now the gaffer has confirmed they've been told to slow down just a little bit with bringing Ryan Jack back into the old mixer, which again has set a lot of people off, worried, thinking maybe there's been an injury setback. Has he done this? Has he done that? No, thankfully not, but there has been a decision made by the club and the specialists, blah blah blah, to slow Ryan down, which is obviously gutting for him, especially because we all know how badly he wants to get back playing for Rangers and pulling on that shirt, and us as fans know how big a Ryan Jack could be for us in the likes of the European games and even in these games. So it is very, very frustrating, but we need to kind of look at it. Is it annoying in the short term that we're not going to have him back right away? Absolutely, but it's only been delayed by a week or two, and I think in the long term, if we're patient with him and we bring him back at the right time, that will set us up in the long step. So again, as a Ryan Jack guy, I'm gutted, but I can be patient another week. I've waited a couple of months now for him. I can wait another week or two before we see Ryan Jack pull in on the old Rangers shirt. But it's not just him that's officially ruled out of this game. Of course, the man, the Romanian prince himself, Hagi, is reeled out. And this one really guts me because this was going to be the season of Hagi, in my opinion. We saw how much he sparkled versus Livingston. Now playing in the central position, this is what we've all been waiting for, and we were seeing it come into fruition. But unfortunately, a reckless, stupid challenge like what we saw versus Livingston has kind of knocked Hagi's perfect start to the season off. And that's really annoying. But again, it's not too severe or anything to rule him out for a long time. He's just ruled out of this game. There was no mention of the next game. So fingers crossed we might just be making a decision to keep him out of this game and hold him for the Malmo game. Fingers crossed. But you know something, that's kind of it for the old gaffer. He went ahead and said that everyone was fit, so I assume that means Joe Rebo, even though he didn't go ahead and mention the man by name. But fingers crossed that is all positive and we get to see them back, because we need the likes of Joe Rebo for the game versus Dundee United. Somebody can beat a man, create space. So hopefully that boy is back. And we also got a wee bit of the last team news, and that's the fact that Glenn Middleton has a couple of loan bids in for him, and it's up to him where he wants to go. And probably by the time you're actually watching today's video, by the time it gets uploaded, you will know exactly where Middleton's went. So yeah, best of luck to him. All that's left for us today now, ladies and gentlemen, now we've talked about the preview, the oppositional preview, is to get the old predictions down there. And it's always an interesting one, especially at Tannadice. I mean, we relied on a moment in magic last season from Tavernier to get all 3 points. And again, I'm expecting a battle. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. And the question of the preview, do you bring Morelos on, or do you start him? And once you hopefully get involved in the old comment section below, I will let you know I'd bring him on in the game of football again to get as much ring rust off the man as possible. But in terms of the prediction for this game, I'm going to back the team, I'm going to back us to bounce back, and I think we're going to have a very good performance. Gerard called it too many players for them know to step up and turn up into this game. So I'm going to go with quite a high scoreline for me, especially away from home. But I'm going to go Rangers 3, Dundee United 0. I'm going to go for the 3-0s back-to-back in terms of the All-League football. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That's everything discussed in today's video. Hopefully you got involved in the comment section below. If you did, I will be speaking to you very shortly. But until then, I have been Sieging Over 92. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson. Take care of yourselves. All the best, and bye-bye.